What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Big Thing, and welcome back to Capes and Cowls, obviously. Man, what an interesting week it has been. Now, whether it is the D23 Recap, which I know I did a little bit so far and talked about my thoughts on the Marvel stuff and the Star Wars stuff, but I think with the guys here, both Winston and Coy, we're going to talk about the expectations that were set, what we thought overall, and how that played out. Shehulk episode 5 is out. We'll be doing a spoiler-heavy discussion of that. So have you not seen it, then you should know that we're going to be spoiling the hell out of it. So you know that. There's a lot of other stories that are running around. There were things that I saw on comicbookmovie.com or something, comicbook.com, and I said, this all sounds foreign to me. And then even the guys, when they came in here, were like, we've never heard of that. So I'm like, okay, good. I don't feel like an idiot. So we'll talk about that and see if you guys know what the hell that is. But anyway, I wanted to let you guys know that if you're brand new to the channel and you've never been here before, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Trying to get to 70,000 by the end of the year, and we would love for you guys to help us out. I got Andor, and at this point, it's Friday. Yeah, my Andor immediate reaction, social reaction is up on the channel, so you can check that out, what I thought of the initial episodes that I've seen. So make sure you check that out. We've got a bunch of different things coming out: House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, and other things coming out. There's tons of movies, and I've missed so many movies, and I'm bummed about it that I had to miss because of sickness. Kids going back to school. Anyway, so, and I also want to thank you guys for the as I mentioned with the studio. I've been getting a lot of compliments on the studio, and that's really a compliment to you guys and everything that you put into this thing and the Amazon wish list. And not much left on that thing, so thank you very, 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 very much. All right, let's get into it. I want to talk to Coy and Winston. Let's talk about D23 and Shehulk and other stuff on Capes and Cowls. Let's do it. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Capes and Cowls, Big Thing, Coy Jandro, Winston A. Marshall.
Bro, I gotta get some of those W ranks.
Which
like
ones?
in the if you go back to the title card for a second.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like I need some W ranks. That's kind of dope.
Those are pretty great. Those are pretty great. All right, I'm gonna fix Winston's shot real quick.
That's fine.
Just want to make sure you get your. Eventually, I'll do it. It's the one thing about running this thing yourself.
No, but you're doing a good job for somebody that's having to wear a lot of hats, and you've mastered the Stream Deck. You seem like you really are.
I'm liking.
Yeah,
I'm liking
ones and twos.
I'm liking. That's the one thing.
Council.
You know, one thing I did. Oh, see, almost, almost. You know what I didn't do is I didn't do the white balance for that shot, but whatever.
That's fine.
It's fine. So, all right, let's get into let's start with Shehulk. I want to start with Shehulk
Let's
because
do it.
I didn't like this episode at all. It's my least favorite, and it almost made me. I texted both you guys this morning.
You did.
And I was like, I said,
I was like, I'm gonna talk to that man in a few hours.
I know. I said, I think I might be out.
I liked it more than 4 or 3.
Get over here.
I loved this episode.
Yeah, I like it. This is my third favorite. It goes 2-1. This 3-4 for me.
Like what I said, and and obviously let you guys kind of give your own thoughts on it. But like my point on this is, do I think? And some idiot, I wrote on my thing. I said, I think it's a very well written show.
Yeah.
It's just not. It's like the way I described it was. So you go to a restaurant and there's a dish that comes out, and everyone's like, "This dish is really good."
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, but it doesn't have the ingredients that I like.
That's fair.
And that's kind of what it was. And so the way that I kind of looked at it was, it's like Sex and the City season 1 to me, related to dudes, women, whoever in season 1. And then as it got farther along, I found less and less that I could relate to.
Sure.
And I felt that way with this, but I also felt like the first 2 episodes to me connected to the MCU. And this one, the whole episode was about a trademark. Like it should have been a side thing. The whole thing was about a trademark. And I'm like, I'm bored.
Oh, that's so funny. I wanted more courtroom stuff.
Yeah.
I'm the opposite. I thought that was like at least a chance to dive into the minutia of like what this world would be. I wanted to discuss what the legal ramifications are of duality of two characters. I wanted to discuss what it would be like to try to live in a world where everything's evolving so rapidly. Like all of that was like for me, the comedy is much more in line with my sensibilities than say Thor: Love and Thunder or some of the aggressive comedy. Like this doesn't feel like Guardians, which is my exact comedy. Guardians of the Galaxy and Deadpool are my comedy. But if you're going to make an approachable comedy, this is closer than Taika for me.
I agree with that. Absolutely.
It also is one tone.
And I will also tell you that Tatiana Maslany, everybody in the episode,
crushing it. And
I thought the delivery and everything was great. I just don't find the characters to be real anymore.
I don't like eggs. Like sometimes you just don't like a thing. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people love eggs.
I liked episodes 1, 2, and the third was good. I didn't like 4, and this one no, because it's getting so far away. Like it's not the courtroom stuff that I don't like. I like the courtroom stuff, as I mentioned in Iron Man 2. That seemed real to me.
Sure,
like with some jokes that are sprinkled in. It just doesn't. I liked the dynamic between the two lawyers, between Jennifer and the new lawyer, who then they have to become friends, and she reps him and figures
I love
out how
Nancy
to do
and
it.
Pug.
Yeah, but it's like
Pug is my guy.
See, I love this episode for a number of reasons. I text you back this.
Yeah.
One of it, I love the male Edna Mode and that whole thing with the suit. I thought that was hilarious. The Avengers stuff was stupid. I thought
one was that?
The Avengers was with the counterfeit Avengers.
Yeah, and
that was dumb.
It was a bit.
That was a bit. Didn't need that, but getting this superhero designer and letting that be the way that we're also sort of getting the nod to Daredevil. I mean, I thought that was great. But then as far as the courtroom stuff, it's exactly what we were kind of told. It was
Ally McBeal.
It's Ally McBeal in a superhero verse. And if anything, I'm surprised you didn't like this because I caught maybe not the aggressive vibes of the boys, but I got a boys flavor in that.
For sure.
In that it was like, okay, so what would the world be like if there were superheroes? And then there is an issue where someone goes, I'm claiming that I made you up.
Like I said, there's things inside of it that it made sense. None of it to me goes, oh, this is dumb. I get it. I couldn't stand the designer part, and I'll tell you why. Because I find like it's if the She-Hulk walks in, there's 2 Hulks.
Yeah.
Only 2.
Yeah.
Right.
And She-Hulk walks in, you're not famous enough. Shut up and make her a suit.
She's also been everywhere for the last 2 weeks.
It was dumb.
But see that why I like that is because that's exactly how pompous and piece of shit like fashion designers are. Like,
come on, dude.
Literally think Avengers or Incredibles. Think Edna Mode, bro.
I know, but the thing is that it's different though. Edna Mode has people coming in left and right that are the same. This is the She-Hulk. There's one She-Hulk.
Yeah.
One. You get to be the guy that makes She-Hulk because she's not famous enough. That was dumb to me. That was really stupid.
I guess that's the thing is that because, again, with the same way with Titania, that we are leaning so hard into, like, making even fun of influencers.
Dude, I got some real trauma watching that. I had PTSD about some events, man. That was so real. Like, that was so accurate to this town. I've been invited to that event. I don't want to go to She-Hulk makeup opening.
Dude. And on top of that, don't get in line. Why are you getting in line?
Yeah.
Like, I was like, oh, that's all pretty smart.
And I thought it was funny when she was like, take a picture. She's like, just one.
Yeah, there's
some funny. Yeah, absolutely.
The thing that would have killed the fact that she's like, "Are you really taking the picture?" But the fact that would have killed me if she had been like, "Which you've done, I do myself all the time." Where it's like, "Fine, I'll take the picture." Then you take a picture of yourself. You're like, "Take that, motherfucker."
I do that to you all the time. Where were we when I did that?
The last taping of the Schmodown.
Oh, okay, yeah. I think I did that to everybody. Anybody who asked me to take a picture, I did that for sure.
So none of us have any photos from the Schmodown because it's just a lot of Kristian selfies.
I wouldn't say none of us have any photos. I'd say none of us have any photos of anybody but me.
The set.
Right. So no, I like I said, I think that was the episode done well, and that's what somebody said was like, it's okay, man. You can just say it was trash. I'm like, no, I won't say that.
What you feel?
Because I don't feel that way. I feel that it was a well-written episode, and I started to realize towards it, and this is the example that I gave as well. So when I saw the trailers for Ms. Marvel, I said initially, this looks like something my 10-year-old daughter is going to love, which it turns out she does.
Yes.
And I said, I don't know if I'm going to be able to relate to this. I'm going to watch this because I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch it with my daughter, and it'll probably be a nice thing for us to watch. But I don't know if it's for me. And I was wrong because what they did in that side of that show is they made it about family, and I related to that aspect. And even though necessarily it was not my culture, didn't matter because it was still relatable theories with relatable relationships and things, and I felt that, and daughters and stuff. I felt that. The other thing that I also felt that I thought was done, even though the superhero stuff wasn't the stuff that I liked the best, it still was a relative through line in a Marvel show. And that to me is missing in this show, and it's why I was wrong about Ms. Marvel, and I unfortunately starting to be more right about what I was worried about in the initial trailer for She-Hulk.
So I think what might be going on with that, to be honest with you, is this is where having the extended episode list, you're trying, like, yes, it's a courtroom show, and again, they leaned into that more than the superhero element was almost a fringe part. By leaning into that, and in which case we have more court cases and you have more episodes, there is going to be times where we're not as focused on the superhero element of it, and that you can see that get pulled out here. But it's very funny that you mentioned that, because I've been trying to get my girlfriend to watch She-Hulk and Ms. Marvel for a minute. She gets very, like, we've been on this MCU journey, but she gets very easily daunted, and I was just like, no, like, trust me, just like watch the show. I promise you. I finally got her to watch the first episode, and she's like, "This is incredible."
Ms. Marvel.
This.
Oh,
she hasn't watched. She hasn't watched Ms. Marvel.
She watched episode 1.
She just watched episode 1, and I know it's going to change. But while I was watching this, I know you are very far removed from the Bachelor world at this point. The whole storyline that's happening right now with the Bachelorette, they're about to wrap the show.
Oh, my wife watches. I've been watching it from side eye. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So even to that point, when she brought all of the exes up in the courtroom. And then that whole part, and then the other lawyer being like, which I know you're not knocking the writing or the performance on this, but even being like, yo, you deserve better. Stop dating all these trash dudes.
Yeah.
I think what's hooking me for the show, and I am aware of the fact that they're escaping from the MCU part. They're saying really real things with the themes.
And they've been doing that consistently since
really,
episode
really
1.
have.
And that's what I'm saying. It's not something to me where I'm going, this is so inconsistent. You're exactly right. They said they were going to give you Ally McBeal. They said they were going to do all this. I thought it was Ally McBeal meets a lot of, like, look, at D23, which we'll talk about, we got to see a scene with She-Hulk and Daredevil. Yeah. And it looks great.
I think they released it, the one where they were like, you can protect people as Jennifer Walters, and what you can't, you can protect
It's a pretty long scene.
No, it's a full action scene.
They showed the full scene?
They showed the full scene. And
it's about 3 minutes.
And it's a good scene.
Yeah.
And it's a really good scene. And it stays consistent with Daredevil's character, which I was worried about.
Yep.
And B, it stays consistent with Jennifer Walters as they portrayed her thus far in the series. So, but that's my point. That to me is what I want to see in the series overall. Not just because, of course, just because you want to see Daredevil. No. I want to see something where her character does not change.
Yeah.
You get her sense of humor, what makes her endearing, but you also get this storyline. And I get what you're saying. You're like, yeah, but in between those, you got to have these little courtroom things. I just don't like what I'm seeing so far in that, because it's just like it was too much. And that guy with the sneaker thing, and I liked him. It was just like he just turns into a goofball, out of nowhere. It's like they keep turning all these characters into goofballs.
But if you remember, he was representing the asshole that Jen used to work with.
But he was serious.
He was a goofball then too.
No, not like this, dude.
I mean, this is now you're in sitcom mode, and he's letting his sneakerhead out. But he was still kind of like out of his element, especially dealing with the fairy.
But he seemed real. This just seems like, I got this, and then, I know, what's his name? I know Lewis. Lewis is my buddy, and right, or whatever the guy's name was.
It was giving him that time to shine. And again, once you get to that sneakerhead element, now you're bringing out the weirder personality trait of his, because like he was still himself. The only thing that truly rubbed me the wrong way was the Avengers. Like, I get what they were doing, but it was just dumb.
Yeah,
that was the only part.
That felt like, we've used that example before. That felt like an SNL bit.
Yes,
that to me felt like a skit, and like comedy's gonna hit or not, and that's okay. But it's definitely not the same event TV as your WandaVision or your Loki, and I'm excited to get one of those. I mean, Secret Invasion looks incredible, and I feel like that's gonna be back to that like event TV. And like the tension week to week, the big conversations, the suspense. And that's great, because some people don't want that. Like, some people would rather live in the sitcom world. So I think Marvel's doing a really good job making sure everything hits someone's market. Whether or not it's ours is going to be relative.
That's the other thing that I think is so interesting, is the weird space where they are allowing every individual person to have their show.
Yeah.
There is
some people think Hawkeye's their favorite, and then it's probably my least favorite. Like, those things are really, because it's exactly that, whatever that is.
Yeah. Everybody's getting a chance to have their show. I think the thing that's so wild though is, and this is where things get a little dicey and a little tricky. I almost need someone to come up with I need you to watch these 3 episodes of Moon Knight. I need you to watch these 2 episodes of Miss Marvel, because if you are trying to keep up,
this is the essential
you unfortunately
stuff.
have to watch everything, which is why I would say giving me what is the essential thing I need out of this series. If I don't like,
and I feel like this series
Hawkeye.
is
What do
the
I need to
pilot,
see?
and then what last episode, and then maybe wherever the Daredevil lands. So that way it sets up Daredevil. That might be it for this show. But I'm sure there's a Cliff Notes. I'm sure there's 87 TikTokers making some sort of
that.
you know what I mean, and that'll be for someone. But like, you know, we are watching all of it because this is enough for me. Like, I'm not disliking it. It's just, it's not up there with Loki for me, or the shows that are made for me.
I totally, because that's the thing. I can tell you.
But I had more fun this episode than the last 2.
No, dude, I love this episode. But
me too.
He's a big fan. His favorite. It's his favorite show.
But like, I know my girlfriend. She is going to be.
I hope you know your girlfriend.
I know, right? She's gonna be bored to tears knowing her with both Falcon and Winter Soldier and with Loki. She is not gonna. She will have moments with Loki, but she will not vibe with either of those.
You know what's fun for me is it's become this great like Bachdal test for me as far as like what shows I'm going to talk about, which friends. Like it's not. I don't see it as like good or bad. I just know that certain friends are this conversation, certain friends, and that's fun.
The other fun part about it, because we have been so connected this entire time, this is now starting to feel even more like we are dealing with comic books.
Right, because I don't talk about X-Men with some people I talk about Spider-Man with. I talk about Batman with.
Right.
Yeah.
There are like, I could give 2. I'm trying to stop cussing. I could give 2 S's about Daredevil the books. I don't care. I don't care.
No judgment. I'm just surprised.
I liked the show a lot, but the character has never resonated with me personally.
Yeah.
Same thing about the Punisher. There's some stories that I'm really into, but I'm not. But like Spider-Man all day,
right?
Like, X-Men all day,
sure.
Like, you know, so that's what's also very interesting.
I don't get Sentry, man.
Territory.
Sentry's this character.
I don't either.
I don't get
Sentry
him.
either.
I've tried a lot, but yeah. So I get it. I mean, like some people live by that.
And
character.
that's where we are now.
Yeah,
we're
living in the comic book store.
Yeah.
Not mad at it. Live in the comic book store.
All right. So anyway, so look, and it was a short episode also, so it's one of these things. It's pretty. This is the thing. This is a show that I still stand by. I think works for 28 minutes, 30 minutes. So much more. Like I definitely don't want to see this type of episode for 45 minutes.
Oh no, that would have been too much.
Yeah.
Now Andor, on the other hand, should be longer. Andor, 35 minutes, 40 minutes.
Oh, it's Friday.
It's Friday.
I literally just took a drink.
What? I was like, what are you doing?
Not pull me into your web of darkness.
35 minutes, 45 minutes. My reaction's been up for a little bit.
Holy God.
35, 40 minutes. 35, 40 minutes. And I still think that's, look, as I said, if you look at my initial reaction from last night when I posted it, I think that it's crazy how in 35 minutes, how developed and how tight the script can be. Like people think like with 35 minutes, you can't put that much in. You have to go action, action, action. Not true. Now, something like, I still think it'd be longer, but something like Shehulk, I like the duration of where it's at. But one of the things that I thought that, as you said, inside with Shehulk, that I thought worked well, that they did call back all of the dudes who came back and were attracted to Shehulk, and I'm sure one of them was using JOYMODE. They must have been.
It's even green.
No, it's even green.
Yeah, it's green.
What a transition.
They had to.
King.
Thank you. They had to use JOYMODE because, I mean, if you want to hang with Shehulk, I mean, come on, for God's sakes. Shehulk is going to be very excited, not only for the green packaging, but for everything else. And look, this is phenomenal stuff. And the guys here, like you should ask, Winston, you a JOYMODE fan?
Am I a JOYMODE fan?
Quit.
If I could live on it.
I'm telling you, JOYMODE it's no joke. And the problem is a lot of times when you're walking, you think, I want to try one of these things, right? And you go to the gas station, you're looking over and you see these pills and you're like, yeah, that'll be good for you. They are not. The gas station pills are not good. You think they are because they're easy to pick up. And like, I'll try them out. The stuff in that stuff is terrible for you. Look, hell, man, some of the stuff in the just prescription stuff not good for you. But JOYMODE is it's the exact opposite. It's like a pre-workout for sex. That's what they do. That's why they sell it, and that's what it is. So people are like, I don't need that stuff. I can perform. It's not about that. Look, if you can't, it's definitely going to help you. But it ain't about that. It's about it's like when you go to the gym and you like, I'm gonna take a supplement, and you're working out better. Same thing, man.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing. Plus your nipples get hard. Like
there you go. Maybe look, for some people they have some effects. It doesn't necessarily, that didn't happen for me, but
tomato.
Yeah, either way. But and I'll tell you, like, one of the things that I had always been worried about is like, oh man, when I'm done though, am I going to be like cutting down plants with and it's like, no, you're not. It's over. Once it's over, it's over. You're feeling good. JOYMODE, it's phenomenal. I love it. And I'll tell you what, I do it all the time. And I even gave some to Whiskey and Lulu. And then now the horse and the donkey together, they had some fun. The JOYMODE. Thank you, Arnold. JOYMODE's fantastic. Use joymode.com/big thing. Use joymode.com/big thing.
Michelle loves it. She really does.
Endorsed.
She everywhere we go. She's like, did you pack the JOYMODE?
You know, it's funny you say that, Mr. Obama. Now, when they gave it to you, then they said, hey, you didn't need it because you thought you didn't need it. It wasn't about, of course, President Obama can get it up.
No. Here's the thing. We have had this technology in the government for years.
Right.
And we just decided, why don't we get it to a company, get it to the people, and make sure everybody's feeling good. It's been a rough couple years.
And I tell you feel fantastic. You put it, come on, and you're like, and then they say, calm down. I said, they can't calm down. I'm excited. And they go, okay, now I'm excited. And you go, okay. So you use joymode.com/big thing. You get it, like Winston. Use joymode.com.
We got to get one out of you, bro. What you got?
I don't have impressions. And so here I sit, looking left and right, acknowledging my insufficiency.
You look like our paperboy today. Is what you look
that's
like.
where I am. I'm so tired. I just like, here you go, Mr. Schwarzenegger. Here you go, Mr. Obama.
Milk is for babies. Anyway, welcome back. All right, let's
up till 3 a.m. watching Shehulk. Rolled out of bed, came here on my birthday. Can't do an
it's happy
impression.
birthday.
Today's my birthday.
It's
It's my birthday
taping
right
of
now.
your birthday.
Taping of my birthday.
Dude.
So I'm gonna play the birthday card to have an
Wait a
impression.
minute. Okay, dude, we're doing so much time jumping. Today
Right now, my
or
birthday.
the day this is
No,
released?
Oh, no,
Thursday. Thursday.
like
Thursday.
as
Real
we
time.
film this,
Real
right
time.
now.
Got it.
The 15th.
Okay. Got it. Congratulations. That's
just my impression card.
It's
That's
also
just
one of
good.
my best friend's birthdays, so you guys have that in common. He's in Vegas for the first time in like 10 years.
Oh, that's amazing.
With his first girlfriend and also almost 10 years. So like he's having the time
That's
of his life.
the best, man.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
incredible.
He's having the time of his life.
One of my the hosting moments ever was because of my birthday, and it's like one of
Yeah.
my favorite weird stories is that I work at Sony a lot now because Tom Hardy and I get along, and Tom Hardy, like a tricky interview.
Cool,
I thought
double name
networking.
drop,
No,
cool.
it's relevant. I thought networking when I was coming up as an actor was adding everyone on social media. So
Okay.
I was friends with Tom Hardy on MySpace because I started on my birthday because Tom Hardy's birthday is today. So I literally work today because 13 years ago I went through MySpace and added everyone on my birthday.
Wow.
Turned out to be Bane. So that
Wow.
name drop's got purpose, and it's Tom Hardy's
Okay,
birthday.
I'm just making sure.
That one, not all of them do. That one did.
Hey, at least you own it.
I'm gonna own it. I'm gonna totally own it.
You do
But
own it.
happy birthday to Tom Hardy, your buddy, and me.
Let's
Respect.
Well, what we can talk about is the fact we all went. Well, myself and Coy were at D23, and when we went to D23, as you saw on Capes and Cowls last week, we had our whole big prediction episode, and most of it didn't happen. Most of it didn't happen, I would say, but it's weird because here's where I stand on the Marvel portion of it, right? Because we don't need to get into. What I will say is I think that the Disney animation and live action was hands down the best part of the whole.
The Pixar stuff.
seemed
Too.
like it.
It was in the
It
same
looked
panel,
really
but yeah.
Well, because they did ultimately what we thought Lucasfilm and Marvel were gonna do, and they dropped a lot of new stuff. They announced
Surprises.
Yeah, you know, and I was funny. I do so on Patreon, by the way. I've been doing this thing 4 times a month where I do like a 30 minute session. I only offer 4 of them, but I do 30-minute sessions with patrons, and they want to come in and we just bullshit about crap about whatever. Yeah, say you slipped. But I was talking to one of the guys today, and he brought up the Disney investors thing, right? That was the best that Star Wars has been in any of these things, whether it was Comic-Con or Celebration or anything. The amount of stuff that they dropped and the amount of stuff, it was something like, well, Marvel does it consistently. Now, when you jump into what Marvel did at D23, my personal thoughts, this. I think that Marvel and Lucasfilm, very different. Marvel did and showed a lot.
So much footage.
They really did show a lot. Now, did they drop bombs of new stuff and casting and things that people thought were going to happen? And were there maybe more expectations on them that they didn't necessarily have to deliver on? I think so. Because as I'm watching a lot of the things that they showed, and there was some stuff they released to the public, and there's other things. Now, I still think the Fantastic Four thing, could they have given you cast? Probably. But here's the difference between something like Fantastic Four and The Acolyte, right? Both of them have been announced. Fantastic Four will probably come out after The Acolyte, if Acolyte even comes out anymore, right? So now people are I kept getting this response yesterday when we talked about this on Sith. People are going, oh, but The Acolyte, they've already announced cast. No, reporters have reported on cast. Lucasfilm, and even if they gave one person, I don't even think they officially did, every single thing that Lucasfilm has done with The Acolyte, Celebration, ignored. Comic-Con, on the press line, Amanda Stenberg is confirmed. Ignored at D23, right? Well, yeah, but it's not coming out forever. Okay, well, then I'll give you Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four, rumored for a bit. Comic-Con, confirmed. It's coming out. D23, you don't get the cast, but it's confirmed, and here's your director. That's the difference. And that's why I don't give as much crap to Marvel, even though it might not have been everything you wanted.
Because everything they did was in line with what they set up to promise. Yeah. Everything that fans expected isn't their responsibility.
Dude, and I saw your TikTok about this.
Yeah.
Because I was explaining to my girlfriend once again.
Let him get to his point real quick.
Go.
So basically what the TikTok says is we can't expect what isn't promised. And if we start expecting what isn't promised, all that's going to do is set up disappointment. And all that's going to do, if a studio starts hearing that too much, is rush things. And then you'll get the very thing you don't want, which is a rushed experience. Everything that Marvel promised a year ago, they have delivered, and then some. And I went through the entire panel in that room, and I'm gonna be honest, I missed one of my best friend's weddings, and I missed a lot of important things to go to D23. The stakes for this were extremely high for me. This was an event that I went to at great cost, personally. And in that panel, I was sitting there for 90% of it going like, X-Men, Fantastic Four, X-Men, because of the internet, because I drank the Kool-Aid for the first time, and I listened to the masses as opposed to my instincts and what was actually promised to me.
Well, wait a minute. You did think X-Men, though.
No, that's what I'm saying is I drank the Kool-Aid. I indulged
right, but you didn't just listen to it. That one you thought.
I was part of the Kool-Aid.
Okay.
Yeah, no. But I'm saying, like, I drank the internet Kool-Aid and espoused these things were coming. I'm owning it. This is my accountability post. But what happened then for me was 90% of the way into that panel, I was like, I'm not enjoying this because I'm waiting for something that wasn't promised to me because I did drink the Kool-Aid and because I was spitting X-Men that was never even implied to be coming. Yes, Miss Marvel had a sound cue. Yes, all these things are happening, but that is at the earliest 3 years away. The fact that we have a director is already a gift for Fantastic Four, but if I keep going into every event expecting something that hasn't been told is coming and listening to the internet at large and listening to TikTokers and listening to all these things, I don't get to enjoy Tim Blake Nelson being confirmed 14 years after the first Hulk movie coming back. I don't get to enjoy the Thunderbolts roster. I don't get to enjoy 8 bits of footage because I'm waiting for the next thing. And just like in life, if you're waiting for tomorrow, today never comes, and today is all we have, ever. We're all dying so fast. Live today. Live for the Thunderbolt lineup. Live for Tim Blake Nelson. Live for your experience, not the fucking internet.
Oh, there you go.
There it is.
And I'll guarantee you, though, as much as I appreciate that speech, we're going to be back here again saying, oh, what do you think we're going to get next time?
But I think we'll have
we're going to be bummed.
But we'll have some salt in it because, like, you know what I mean? We'll have experienced this disappointment.
Absolutely. But it's going to happen again.
It's our jobs.
Yeah, 100%.
Two things.
Sorry to lecture.
One, I won't lie, and this is why peer pressure is a mother. I kept saying, y'all, I don't think if you remember, last week I was on board. Last week I was on board with you guys, but I kept saying, guys, I don't think D23 is going to be as big. Like, they blew their load on Comic-Con.
And we were like, it's because of home base.
You have no idea what you're talking about. And I was like, okay. And you guys convinced me. But the big thing I was going to say, that speech truncated.
Yeah.
This is Mephisto all over again.
Oh, yeah.
And you would think 100%. People would have learned their lesson.
We still won't.
Feige and his people have a plan. They'll give us what they want to give us when they want to give it to us. So stop trying to do not get upset about like you said, about something that they never said was going to be a thing.
No, but there is a difference though with, again, like I said, when there are projects that are already announced and ignored, right? Like whether it's, again, Acolyte or whatever it might be. Now,
That's different. I give you that.
It is, but now even with Fantastic Four though, if it turns out that they have cast Jodie Comer, if they have cast anybody already before all this, right? Then there's two arguments to be made. The first is, they could have told you who the cast was. They could have told you, and they could have said, okay, here's our cast, but we haven't done anything. Or you could see Feige's argument to where he's just like, well, I don't want to do that yet because I can announce look, we have the project, here's the director, and when we get closer to our next big event, whether it's D23 again or Comic-Con again, then we bring out the cast.
Also,
and then we hit
what if one person is in a property and they don't want to reveal, them all? You know what I mean?
Or they want to do it in a post-credit scene or something.
There are also opportunities to do it in.
So I get that because now, flip side again, if you are at Comic-Con and Fantastic Four, you're like, oh, they're going to announce. Imagine we went back and we go, okay, they're going to announce Fantastic Four at Comic-Con, and they're going to do it in this. They're going to announce Fantastic Four and Avengers. The next two Avengers to close out. And we're like, no, they're not. They're going to. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And then they don't.
Right.
In an alternate timeline, right? Even though we got that for real, it's not. No one said that they were going to do that.
Right.
No one said. Now, it could have been a bummer. Oh, but I'm pretty sure they're working on it. Yeah, but they didn't announce it. And it's like, to me, it's when things are not like, and as I said, and I know that I've been a little tough on it, but I stand by it. I just think Lucasfilm dropped the ball dramatically when it came to when it came to Star Wars, like dramatically.
I'm in the room with Kristian. Kristian's like 4 rows in front of me, and we're both taking pictures and tweeting and live tweeting the whole thing. And while I'm tweeting and taking photos, I'm seeing Kristian's post in real time because I'm tweeting, I'm taking, I'm sending. Yeah. And while in that room, I get a text from Kristian like, hey, what'd you think of the Lucasfilm panel? Like literally, what?
It was like
and it was so funny to me because I was literally reading you doing the same day, being like, oh, he's not happy.
See if you can find it. That's fine. But the reason I say that though is because it's like because here's the difference though, because the difference is Marvel consistently performs
right
and has
that Werewolf by Night trailer, but things like that are how they
throw. It's funny though. We can talk about that. Like I appreciate how everybody's excited about it.
Not for you.
Not for me.
Okay.
But yeah.
Well, there's some things that I'm not going to repeat on air, but the main one was the first text from Kristian in the middle of the panel. What a wet fart of a presentation. And I can hear your exact intonation.
That was why it was so entertained.
How you said it. Like, what a fart. Like, now you hold on that word.
And that's what's so funny about working in this space is we all comment on movies in real time. So when you're live tweeting and then you hear the voice of one of your friends in the text while you're seeing their coverage come out.
Was like, I was just, because of what I was just saying. These are projects that were already announced.
Right.
Or trailers that were shown at Celebration that didn't show. And I think that Marvel actually did drop the ball once inside of this that I think that you can call them out for. Where was that Guardians thing?
The Christmas special?
No, the Guardians trailer.
Oh, for Guardians 3.
You guys got the Guardians trailer at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
They have it.
I think it was just so long presentation. It was 3 hours. I feel like they just ran out of time.
But show that one over the other stuff.
But I guess
that's coming out around the same. So that's coming out in May.
So here's my question: did they replay the Black Panther trailer?
They did a new one.
Trailer.
It's like a new trailer.
They did a new one.
Yeah.
Oh well, then in that case, I got nothing.
And new Ant-Man or extended Ant-Man.
That's a lie.
But that's also coming out. That's coming out.
That's coming out. That's why I was like, I take that back. It's coming out in like less than 2 months.
It was cool. They gave us like 2 scenes from the movie that were like made into a footage.
They gave us stuff that's coming out. Like the Secret Invasion, I thought looked great.
That footage from Comic-Con plus that's probably my most anticipated thing because it's like Winter Soldier-esque.
And that's coming out first, right?
Right.
That comes out first.
That's the next show,
so
I think.
So you show that first. I get it. Then you've got Ant-Man, which they showed for February, which also looked... That to me,
Kang looks great.
Kang looks great, and is that the same trailer they showed at Comic-Con?
No.
Okay.
Well, it's interesting because the Ant-Man footage was a sequence at Comic-Con that had a few other moments like dispersed. This made it more coherent, and they added some elements. So it was like, I think the one at Comic-Con was 1.5 minutes. This was like 3.5.
This is like 3.5 minutes, yeah.
But what they added some context without making it too much new footage. Like they did the good trailer thing where they're like, here's some augmenting, kind of like the Black Adam trailer, where it didn't show a lot more, but it improved the first trailer.
Yeah, what I liked about it, so Winston, what they showed inside of this trailer, was that Scott is, and they've played this through the MCU thus far, is that he's podcasting and he's into the fame, and he's walking. He wrote a book, and he's listening to his own audiobook in the car, and his daughter's actually starting to become him, and starting to be a little bit of a criminal side, right? And so what happens then? They wind up contacting the quantum realm, and then they get sucked into it. And
who is in the quantum realm that they need to contact them?
She's. The daughter is doing like an experiment just to like almost like connecting to aliens, right? And they wind up going, and it's
so the Pym stuff wasn't in our footage, but the Pym stuff connects the family element. Like Grandpa is like trying to like make sure granddaughter's into the, that stuff was great and that's new. But what I really liked is the footage they showed us at Comic-Con of Scott and Kang is the same, but they added CGI to it. So in the San Diego footage, Jonathan Majors comes out and his chest piece and stuff is the colors of Kang, but it's kind of like not unremarkable, but I don't remember it. And then this footage, they've got a full chest piece, and then he's got scars on his face now that mirror the comic book like mask and stuff. But it was cool to see in real time in 6 weeks what CGI artists did. It was like seeing previs versus production versus...
Bro. These poor visual
dude, in 6 weeks they're like, I got the suits.
With all the stuff that they're working on, but like
Shehulk, man.
But when that I did like, by the way, in Shehulk how they how everybody was giving those criticisms during the trailers of Shrek, and they called her Shrek at one point. They called her Shrek at one point. It was amazing. But anyway, inside of so that trailer I thought was great. That presentation was good. And then after that movie, though, the next thing after that is maybe it is, I don't know if Echo comes, because they showed Echo. They showed us something with Echo. But then they did have Kingpin come out, and they had Charlie Cox come out, and when you play it back in your head on how it worked, where they just talked about Daredevil, right? And again, another project that's not coming out for a while, but they've announced it. So they talked about it, and they brought their cast out. So you could have fit in Guardians at that point, but I guess they said, okay, you know what, instead we're going to do, because we can't show them a trailer, what we'll do is we'll show them that scene from Daredevil with Charlie Cox and...
Big news and I feel like not a lot of people are talking about it. That Charlie Cox confirmed that this is a new take on Daredevil, that this isn't a Netflix continuation.
Oh, did he say that?
Yeah, in an interview. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, not enough people are talking about it. He said that they're able to remix it a lot like the comic books, where it's a new take, but it's not continuing, but it'll feel like
it's not canon. Really?
That's what's interesting is the quote.
Are we sure?
I'll look at the actual quote.
Look that up.
I'll read it out loud.
Because that's not good.
Well, not necessarily, because if you think about it this way, Kristian, and very similar, I mean, that happens with movies anyway, but with comic books, for the most part, you're going to make sure that the writer that's taking care of that book is staying true to the character. They just might be doing their own take.
I know. It's like, so it's almost like a variant again, too.
I mean, it's also the name of the show, Daredevil Born Again.
Yeah. So, I guess. I mean,
as long as they don't nerf Kingpin like they did in Hawkeye.
Oof.
That I'm a little worried about.
Brutal.
Yeah, that my concern is that I found an article. Let me see the quote. Let's see. My quote, my feeling is, based on the title Born Again, I think that the sense is it's going to be a new beginning. It's going to be different. It's going to be tonally different. It's going to be new stories and new ideas. Like Kevin Feige said, it's a season 1, not a season 4, so it's a whole new thing, which is, I think, the right way to go. If you're going to do it again, let's do it differently. That's brand new.
That doesn't say that it does.
Season 1, not a season 4, whole new thing.
True.
If you're going to do it again, do it differently. Like, that's all.
Yes, but that doesn't necessarily say he hasn't been through what he's been through. That just means that, again, this could be, it's a new take and a new story and everything too. It's not going to be like a whole new origin story and all that too. But
I don't think we're going to start with the pearls.
But it doesn't necessarily negate those first 4 seasons. It just says that.
I mean, he said season 1, not season 4. That's my only, like, that's clean.
But sure, but that could be season 1 of a new series of something that, doing again, and who knows? Well,
I'm just saying, no one's talked about that yet.
It's
like,
true.
This is the first quote about it.
Would you? All right, so I want you to see. Will you take a bet and say that it will be canon of the Netflix show?
I will say it will not be.
Would you take
Netflix
that
will
bet?
not be canon.
Well, while you guys think about that bet, I'll tell you guys how you guys should. Oh, darn it!
Oh, there it is.
had it.
There it is.
Almost had it.
A graphic away from perfect tangent.
Tricky.
Oh, there it is.
I'll tell
I
you
was
what.
so in the moment, I didn't even put it together. That was
I would've
nicely
had-
done.
Almost. Look, for audio listeners, they're like, what? It was a good transition into MyBookie. But Joy Mode got a hit twice. But look, I'll tell you what, MyBookie is fantastic. And I'll tell you, even though it's really hard to be a Cowboys fan right now, it is time.
If you don't plug my TikTok after this, I'm gonna fight you.
It is time to understand that winning that this season it's underway, man, and it's week 2, and we just had the Chiefs and the Chargers. They played, and it's winning. Get prepared for your winning season at MyBookie. Now, some like to bet to earn, and some bet to make the season more exciting. Either way, MyBookie gives you the most for your money with a double deposit bonus. It's quick. It's easy. You take $250 deposit. It puts $500 in your account instantly. Bet against the Cowboys every time, and you can use your funds to bet on as many games, contests, and props as you want. Winston missed that because he was on his phone.
Yeah, I chose to tune you out now.
That's right. To claim your bonus, register today and use the promo code BIGTHING, designed to add more excitement to the games and sports you love. That's promo code BIGTHING. You double your money up on $1,000 with MyBookie. Just always bet against the Cowboys. It's only week 2 of the NFL season, which means there's still plenty of time to get in on the action. Don't miss out. Begin your winning season unless you're the Cowboys. Today, exclusively at MyBookie.com.
I mean, as a Pats fan, I'm not used to losing.
That's brutal, too.
But it is a thing I'm learning now.
The Giants
So
do this week.
I'm alongside you,
You
learning.
want to talk about the
May-
Giants?
I'm learning how it feels.
May you have who wants to talk about the Giants?
Did they win? Did they win?
Sure. And I'm actually happy for Saquon Barkley because that poor kid, he is so talented, and to
Yes.
be plagued with all those injuries, that sucks. May you have the same 30-year drought that we did after dominating for an entire decade and a half.
It was.
Your retro jerseys are a hell of a thing. I'll give you those retro jackets are great, but I'm afraid of that. I'm not gonna lie to you. Without Brady, I'm worried.
It was a pleasant week 1, considering I hate both of your teams so much, and what happened to both of your teams, and then deciding that
A pleasant week.
and the Giants were able to do what they did. It was nice.
I have started a new series on TikTok. I pray to God nothing bad happens to the Giants because I will not hold back on your ass. I swear to God, bro.
It's fine. I know how to mute mics. Okay.
He does have the ones
So
and twos.
if we jump back in though to
I'm curious about what you didn't like about We're Up by Night. Sorry, I don't know if that's where we're going.
It's
but.
not that it's very similar to what I was talking about before. It's not that I didn't like it. I thought that for what they were going for, what Michael Giacchino was going for, nailed it.
Got it. So it's the dish thing. It's just not your
the old school. It's like that old school feel that they're going for with the horror and everything too. It's just not something I'd go out of my. It seems like something that's tailor made for like Bibs.
Yeah,
I feel like
definitely Bibs
Bibiani
gonna love it.
would like love this.
It reminded me of Edgar Wright's Don't in the middle of
Yes.
Grindhouse, and I was like, I like that as a special because I
Yeah.
think I'll love it
Yeah,
for
yeah.
40 minutes or whatever.
Yeah, and I understand why people are hyped about it.
Sure.
I just when I looked at it, I saw everybody getting hyped up. I went,
Sure.
okay. And that's
What was
just,
your favorite thing?
Secret Invasion might be, because I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, I kept calling it Secret Wars, and you're like, no, that's the other thing.
Fair.
And I was like, okay, because I think that I think just over. Maybe that's another thing with the Shehulk thing. I just think that I'm really over the comedy, like especially after watching. I'm rewatching again the MCU with my daughter, and we're up to Avengers now. Right?
Yeah.
And there's humor throughout the entire thing, but it's just different.
Yeah.
It's just different. Like Thor is so much better. He's so much better back then. Like this whole scene that he's got with Loki when he first sees him, and he's grabbing him and he's telling him, it's like he could still be funny. Because in these other scenes, he's adopted,
Right.
Like there's that stuff that just worked. But anyway,
And in Avengers, one of my favorite moments is does Mother know you weareth her drapes? And like those those comedy elements
right,
work for me
because it's in the middle of a serious
and
moment.
it's in character.
Yes.
But I think the other thing that's interesting because I was just running the release dates in my head. We were getting variation. So like Iron Man comes out and there's serious elements
Yeah.
for comedy, but
Yeah.
then the next one. You get both Incredible Hulk and Iron Man 2, so a little bit more of that comedy, but then the Incredible Hulk has a funny line here or there, but it's pretty serious.
Yeah.
Then you go to Thor, and it's really theatrical. Then you go to Captain America, and it's like a war film and all that. You know what I'm saying?
America the first one again. It gets better and better every time. Every time you watch it.
Guardians and Winter Soldier were back to back. Look at duality there.
Right.
Like that's and that's phase 2. Like deeper in.
But to answer Coy's question though, like I was just like Eternals to me. I think the three of us like it, but we're in the minority, right? Because I liked it because it was there's some jokes in it, but for the most point it's less goofy. Yeah. And the last few things have been goofy, and some of the and again even come out from Shehulk again, and then seeing Secret Wars, I'm like, oh, that feels like the Marvel that I really enjoyed.
I'm really excited to get back to espionage and grit.
Yes. What I said, you
said Wars again.
Secret Wars.
What came out that you?
Yes.
What you got to experience, because I know they released some footage. Anything jump out for you? I'm just curious about. Like,
Secret Invasion looks incredible. I've always been like the main thing I think I bonded with my dad over growing up was actually James Bond. So anything spy related automatically has my attention. And I was like, yo, what is this mystery?
Yeah.
Which is sort of why I also gravitated to WandaVision. It's not as much of a spy thing, but you're still in a mystery trying to solve it.
I really liked WandaVision, and there was another one that I didn't know if I was going to. I remember when that first came out, I was like, that looks terrible, and I loved that show.
And I think Loki balanced the comedy as well, too. Those two, WandaVision and Loki, I think are the best examples of what the comedy we miss.
Yeah, Loki looked good. The new Loki trailer for Loki season 2 looked good.
Some horror edits. It had a lot of like tension in it.
It did. Black Panther 2 looked good. The Ant-Man
footage
stuff looked good. So there was a lot of stuff that they showed that I thought was really, really good.
Quinn and Loki 2 is so exciting. The dude from Everything Everywhere.
Yes.
I'm so excited to see him.
Short round.
Yeah, man.
Did you see the picture he took with Harrison Ford?
Oh, dude, it's so beautiful.
It was so
it's
great.
such a magic. Also, Harrison coming out so emotional was such a
best.
my God, that wrecked me.
That's on this channel. You can see that on this channel. Yeah.
I love that every single director of note came out and was like, "Do you guys just see that Indy 5 footage?" Like literally,
of course,
everyone came out post Lucasfilm like, "Did you experience that?"
That was the thing to me. That was so. Like I said, I'm trying to be very. I want to make sure that I say that every time. Lucasfilm, that panel, the Star Wars stuff dropped the ball. I thought Willow
surprised the hell out of me, man.
And I thought Indiana Jones closed strong.
Do you remember? You that was the one thing you said you actually liked about it. You were like, Indiana Jones was the best thing.
Easy.
Yeah.
It was very smart for him to close with that.
Do you remember the three of us were talking about Lucasfilm? We were talking about how much time each thing was going to be, and we assumed it was 2 hours. It was 3. Because it would kept going.
Because Avatar,
Because it just kept. Yeah. But we all were like, man, I would like prefer them not to spend time on Willow. And then Willow footage came out, and I was like, this looks incredible. It looks like a less.
Know what Willow is.
So Willow was a George Lucas production that Ron Howard directed.
Val Kilmer's in it.
Val Kilmer, and it's a fantasy thing. And if you watch it now, if you just focus on the story, you'll probably wind up liking it. If you focus on the CGI, it's very dated because of the way. But from back then in '86, when we were whenever 86, 87, whenever it came out, I really enjoy Willow. I actually don't. I think it was smart for them to show it at D23. I just am still baffled of why they showed it at Celebration.
Right, because this footage was way better, and it got us invested. And Kristian Slater just got confirmed.
Yes, it has nothing to do with Star Wars.
No, it's a Lucasfilm.
It's a Lucasfilm, so that's why D23.
But that's why I'm surprised that you said it was at Celebration. That seems weird.
Which was weird.
And I think that what this did was it showed us what the tone's going to be, which is why I'm excited, because I love fantasy, and I'm digging House of the Dragon. Like I'm liking it more than I expected.
I love it.
But I didn't really dig Game of Thrones, so I didn't know if I'd like this. But watching House of the Dragon, it makes me realize that we don't have a lot of fantasy that isn't cynical or angry. Like that show feels very whereas Willow looks like less angry fantasy, which we don't get after the '80s a lot.
Did the trailer come out for Willow? It did, right? Did it drop? I wonder if it dropped.
I think so, because I saw one person on social media, just like a friend of mine, who was like, I am so sick and tired of reboots and remakes, but this is the only exception. I am ecstatic about this. So I think the trailer is
because it looks less angry. It's fantasy without that like edge to it. And I like House of the Dragon. So what are you laughing at me?
Okay, because you brought up House of the Dragon. I saw a tweet where it was like, white people, the House of the Dragon. Black people, House of Dragons.
I did just call it House of Dragons.
Dropping all articles, adding plurals.
That's like my daughter, the little one. She doesn't say without. She just says out. She goes, "Don't go out me."
Oh.
Don't go out me. Don't go out me. All right.
Our Twitters combined this week. It was a crazy week, man. We had a good.
Well, the reason why I was so hyped up for that, the majority of it, I really got going is because I had good energy, and I had good energy because of Athletic Greens.
There's the button. There it is. There it is, folks.
Athletic Greens, everybody. Athletic Greens, if you didn't already know, we've been talking about Athletic Greens. I love Athletic Greens, and you guys have kept trying. I keep getting people. I saw something the other day, and I just screenshotted it. Someone's like, "Look, I got Athletic Greens to support you guys, not knowing if I was going to like it, and I swear by it. I got to keep getting it now over and over and over again." And that's what I hope you guys try, because Athletic Greens it's the best. They came back, and I want them to come back again. So try them out. And if you don't like them, you don't like them. But I haven't heard that yet. I've started trying them when they came on board, and I've never stopped. I started taking it because I'm not a big vitamin person. And I just wanted to take one supplement to get everything, one big shot. I've been doing it for months, and it doesn't taste like, you look at it and you go, this is going to taste like grass. It doesn't at all. You take one scoop of it. I put it in a water bottle. I shake it up. You take 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole foods, source superfoods, probiotics, adaptogens, the whole thing. I take it in the morning, shake it up in the water bottle, and that's it. It supports better sleep quality, recovery, mental clarity, alertness. It's great, and it costs you less than $3 a day. Athletic Greens has over 7,000 five-star reviews. It's recommended by professional athletes. It's time to reclaim your health, and you arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. Just one scoop, cup of water every day. Shake it up. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. And to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is go to athleticgreens.com/bigthing. athleticgreens.com/bigthing. You take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Now, as I've told you guys many times over, people are always asking, first of all, I'd say this. If you've contributed to the studio, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you are a patron and have joined over on the new patron and have been involved there, thank you. If you put a like on this video and you comment, thank you. Anything that you can do, thank you. And especially people are, well, how else can I help? Find a sponsor that we have that's right for you and try it. And let me know what you think. And that's why I think so many people have been telling me about Athletic Greens and loving Athletic Greens. So please try Athletic Greens and let me know what you think. All right, as we wind down, let's see if there's a few other things that we can talk about here that I want to get to with you guys. So this is the thing I mentioned up top. Where the hell is this thing?
It's on the left.
Yeah, I'll find it eventually. Okay, so what the hell is this? Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness concept art reveals marvelous Melvin variant from previous script. What does this mean?
I love that it's written like we should know, and I don't know, and I do this pretty in depth. I have no idea who this is.
All right, so nobody knows.
Okay, I feel way better.
Doctor Strange is in the the concept artist Daryl Warner has revealed some of his work from Scott Derrickson's version of the movie. Okay, sharing a closer look at the marvelous Melvin variant. So this is what I guess Scott Derrickson was working on. The original plan for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness was for the first movie's director Scott Derrickson to be back behind the camera. Creative differences saw the filmmaker walk away from the sequel, with the prevailing theory being that he didn't want to tell a story about the multiverse. Interesting. Okay. It appears that wasn't entirely the reason. We've heard it might be been the Scarlet Witch, because concept artist Daryl Warner has shared an early design for Derrickson's script that featured a perilous Strange variant. Marvelous Melvin was a piece I completed very early on in the first lockdown following one aspect alternative Strange universe within the Derrickson script that subsequently changed with the arrival of Sam Raimi. It is quite rare to be allowed to follow one's intuition as regards to a given character, and I need to extend many thanks to costume designer Graham Churchyard for allowing me to develop and produce this concept. Doesn't really say much about it, but I guess it's I mean, the idea of a variant Doctor Strange without his powers,
that's interesting.
What it does confirm is that, as they said, it doesn't it negates the idea that Derrickson didn't want to do the multiverse, and looked more so about I guess cramming Scarlet Witch,
and how long he was still working, because lockdown was not long ago. So like that deeply into it means
he was close. Yeah, I still wonder what that movie would have looked like. Derrickson,
a horror movie. Like it would have been a different. I mean, not that Sam Raimi's wasn't, but it was Sam Raimi horror.
Yes, that's right. It's a Sam Raimi horror movie as a compared to
a horror movie.
Derrickson, right?
Yeah, because Derrickson makes. I mean, I love both, but like The Black Phone is one of the best movies of the year for me,
really
and
like
like
that
that
movie,
is such a special kind of horror.
Yeah.
I would love to see that man get to have his $200 million version of that. Like I would have loved to have seen an untethered Scott Derrickson get to play.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel that way about. I love what Peyton Reed did with Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Edgar Wright's DNA.
I still think about Edgar Wright's movie all the time. I'm just curious.
Every time I watch it, I think of that the briefcase scene. I'm like, oh, this is the last piece of Edgar, because that's such an Edgar Wright scene.
Yeah.
The music, the flavor. I'm like, oh, this is what Edgar Wright's Ant-Man would have been, the movie. But, you know, that's what's interesting about Phase 4 is we're letting these directors have more creative freedom, but sometimes at cost.
I think that's going to change.
I don't think this survives. I think the reason Phase 4 is so short is they're like, okay, we're going to go back to what we were doing.
I think that's one of the reasons why they got the dude from WandaVision.
Yeah, I think we're going to have the more structured feel Phase 5. I think Phase 4 is multiversal in many ways.
I think that was the thing that Feige's like, okay, I'm going to give this a shot. I was sitting with Winston at the Thor Love and Thunder premiere, and they had an interview with Feige, and they said, okay, you remember this? So
What genre is it?
So the genre that, you know, so Ant-Man was like a comedy thriller and
Heist.
a comedy heist, and then Winter Soldier was like a spy thriller and blah blah blah. What's the genre of this movie? And Kevin Feige goes, this is just a Taika movie. And I look at Winston, I go,
He got scared. He goes, oh no.
I went, uh-oh. When that answer, the second he said that, and the movie hadn't even started, and I look and I go, oh no.
The more I think about those two back to back, the more Phase 4 starts to drift down.
Yeah.
Because it's been a little time.
Have you rewatched it?
I haven't been able to bring myself to.
Okay.
And that's way worse. Like, I had Ragnarok below Love and Thunder because I loved the last 5 minutes so much.
I remember.
Like, the last 5 minutes of Love and Thunder, I think, are amongst the best Thor. I love how they landed it, but that does not a medium movie make.
Now, I'm going to watch
drifting down.
I'm going to watch it again, but my ranking right now of those 4 movies are Ragnarok, Thor, Dark World, and then
Wow.
Dude, you put Love and Thunder below Dark World?
100%.
Does not like Dark World.
Now I'm going to watch it again.
I'm gonna watch again too.
But I've rewatched Dark World obviously recently with our thing, but I'm gonna rewatch it again, and I'm not dreading it. And I've seen it now maybe 5 or 6 times.
Right.
I don't want to watch Love and Thunder again, and I have to. So anyway, look.
But that's what happens when you have this. I mean, the experiment's good. I just think Marvel isn't like. I love creative freedom. I love directors getting to make their vision. But Marvel isn't a series of movies. It's a long TV show.
Right.
Marvel, as a cinematic universe, is serialized movies and shows but the movies are 2-hour shows. It is one thing. So when you have creative freedom to the point where it hurts your characters, as I personally feel Multiverse and Thor did, it does affect the overall experience. And I think that's what Kevin Feige's shifting for Phase 5.
Have you watched it again, Winston?
No, I had mentioned this last week. I haven't rewatched anything except for Spider-Man in at some of the TV shows, but the movies I haven't rewatched a single one. Widow, Eternals, Shang-Chi, Doctor Strange, Thor. I haven't rewatched a single movie.
Have either of you made it to the extended of Spider-Man yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, I'm trying to go today.
Okay.
I think for my
Is it in
rotation.
theaters?
Yeah.
I'm gonna see if we can get to one more story.
I gotta get to the Warrior King first, bro.
Let me see.
I heard it's incredible.
Dude, the Woman King, you mean?
Is it the Woman King or the
Woman
Warrior
King.
King? It's the Woman King.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
yes.
that was one of the ones the other day I had a screening for, and then my kid got sick, and I had to miss it.
Dude, every single person that I seen it had, they were talking about, they were like audiences applauding, like standing up and applauding.
I finally saw the first trailer and I was like, this looks incredible. I somehow missed the wave.
I'm excited. Let's see. Is there anything else we can talk about?
Wait, okay.
Yeah.
Here's a question. Go down real quick. Was there no post credit today?
No, there wasn't. The only thing that they showed was the Daredevil.
The helmet. Yeah.
So I guess we can talk about as Coy mentioned before, Tim Blake Nelson.
That's
is
so
returning.
exciting.
So
good for him.
So he hasn't been. So although freaking Anthony Mackie kind of stepped on him on a moment, called him like Nasty Tim or something.
Oh, yeah.
He called him nasty.
Called him nasty. He's like, it's good to have like Nasty Tim back, and I'm like, that's not a compliment, man.
What
Nasty
a weird thing to say on stage.
He called him Nasty
Tim. Unless it was preempted by my boy Nasty Tim in this, then that's a little different.
He kind of did say that.
Okay.
It was kind of like that to where I think he might have even said those words, but but he still called him Nasty Tim, and I'm like, what's he doing? Smelling his fingers all like in the middle
all of that.
I just thought maybe because you remember he was Clarence in 8 Mile, so maybe he was just saying that Nasty Tim had bars.
He's back.
Maybe that's all
Clarence
that was.
is back.
And he very well might mean that, but I was just like, call him Nasty, and then poor Tim was just standing there like this.
All of 4'5". I didn't realize Tim Blake Nelson was
little,
this. And then everyone on stage is really tall. I'm like,
and it's funny because I just watched that again with my daughter,
Yeah.
you know, and I was like, oh yeah, I just remember him, and like, and as you said, it's been years, but to
14 years.
to me, it's been a week.
It's been 14 days.
But both of them, because Roth and
Right.
and yeah.
Well,
so
Ross
both
came back, you know.
Not Ross, Roth. Tim Roth.
Oh, Tim Roth.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
But he
yeah.
came back in Shang-Chi, so I feel like we were like a little comfier.
Yeah, but he
didn't
wasn't
see it.
really back.
We
That's
didn't
true. We
see
saw
it. It
Abomination.
was just
That's fair.
Abomination.
That's
So
fair.
They're
like,
fully incorporating Incredible Hulk.
Right.
I'm wondering if we get Liv Tyler back.
This whole show has been an abomination. That's not true. I want to thank you guys for joining us here today. Thank you to both Winston and Coy. Thank you guys for always for the support that you've given us on this show. This show's been doing very well, and I appreciate that. That's because of all the support. And again, we really hope that you're enjoying the studio, and that really comes from all of you. We put that Amazon list up, and without you guys, we wouldn't have started to move this as fast as we did. So thank you to everybody who made a contribution, and even if you didn't, thank you for putting your comments and liking and all that stuff. So thank you, Winston. Thank you, Coy. Make sure you check them out on their both respected social media platforms. They're all over TikTok and YouTube and everything. You make sure you find them, and that's about it, everybody. We'll be back next week. And we're wrapping out. Next week will probably be that Daredevil episode, so I'm sure we'll have a lot to talk about if I was to guess. For Capes and Cowls, for Winston and Coy, we'll see you guys next time. Peace.